What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's Daniel, and welcome back to our video. Today, I'm doing race 6 for the 2025 YellaWood 500. Let's go ahead and just jump straight into it. This weekend, the NASCAR Cup Series has the Talladega Super Speedway, the 2.66 mile Super Speedway that generally puts on some fantastic and great racing from time to time, but can also have a lot of gridlock at this track as well, and sometimes produce some racing. The last time we ran at Talladega Super Speedway, we saw Austin pick up his first win of the 2025 season in his third career NASCAR Cup Series win. And the last time we ran the fall race, we saw Ricky Stenhouse Jr. pick up a win in a photo finish. He's back this time around trying to pick up his fifth career Cup win and his first win of 2025. So now, let's go ahead and jump into picks. But before I go ahead and jump into picks, let's take a look at the weather for this weekend. The weather for this weekend currently at the moment is looking up and down at this point. It's going to be 76 degrees high with 46 degrees as well, with a 35% chance of rain with scattered thunderstorms. Over the last couple days, the weather has been improving. There is a chance this race could get in on Sunday. If the weather does postpone the race, it will be the first postponement for any of NASCAR's top 3 series so far this year. The weather could be a factor. It will be something to watch out for this weekend's NASCAR Cup event at Talladega. Now, with this being the second race of the round of 8, let's go ahead and take a look at the playoff settings. So after Denny Hamlin won at Las Vegas Motor Speedway this past week, he is locked into the championship 4. Kyle Larson is up by 35, Christopher Bell's up by 20, and Chase Briscoe's up by 15. Meanwhile, you have William Byron, who's down by 15 points currently at the moment. You have Chase Elliott down by 23. You have Joe Logano's down by 24, and Ryan Blaney is down by 31. Though I would expect things to fluctuate and change throughout the weekend, as Talladega can produce a lot of the craziness and chaos that we've seen at the track. It should be very interesting to see how it plays out through the Cup Series race this weekend, where the points will look after race at Talladega this weekend. So now, finally, let's go ahead and jump into picks. For those who are new to the channel, here's how picks usually work. Now, usually, I got 2 suck picks, 2 underdog picks, a winner's pick, and 5 drivers you watch out for. But because we're headed to a super speedway this weekend, I got 3 suck picks, 3 drivers I expect to struggle. I don't think will have the pace and speed or aren't that great at this type of track. I got 3 underdog picks, 3 drivers who desperately need a good run, who I think will have a good run this weekend, are really getting better at this type of track. And I do my winner's pick, the driver who thinks going to win the race overall. Instead of 5 drivers you need to watch out for, I got 6 drivers you need to watch out for, along with the race winner. So now, let's jump into picks. Who are my suck picks for the 2025 YellaWood 500? My first suck pick for this weekend at Talladega is the driver of the 99 car for Trackhouse Racing, Daniel Suarez. Now, yes, Daniel Suarez has some decent runs at super speedways in the past and did pick up a win at Talladega last year. But Daniel Suarez has been struggling this year. It's been a little bit of up and down run. Yes, he's had some decent runs, had some decent finishes like Daytona, but I currently just don't trust the 99 team currently at the moment. They're going to be up there. You need some luck at these types of tracks, and Daniel Suarez from time to time doesn't have the most luck at these types of tracks and at these types of events. So because of that, I think it's going to be not the best run for Daniel Suarez. I think he sadly struggles a little bit out on the track. I don't think he's going to have a good run. Sadly, I think it's going to be a hit or miss run for Suarez. I think he runs outside the top 20 more than likely this weekend at Talladega. My second suck pick for this weekend at Talladega is a driver of the 54 car for Joe Gibbs Racing, Ty Gibbs. Ty Gibbs historically has not been the best super speedway racer. Yes, he's had some decent stats at Atlanta, but outside of that, he's not been that great at these types of tracks. And because of that, unfortunately for Ty, I don't think he's going to run well. Plus, Joe Gibbs Racing's had a little bit of a history, and it really hasn't been able to have a lot of good runs, as they haven't been able to work together as much in recent weeks. I think Ty's unfortunately going to struggle. I think it's not going to be a good run for Ty. Sadly, I think he's going to run not that great this weekend at Talladega. And my third and final suck pick for this weekend at Talladega is a driver of the 20 car for Joe Gibbs Racing, Christopher Bell. Now, Christopher Bell does have a super speedway win at Atlanta Motor Speedway. But since then, I don't think he's finished better than 25th or 26th in the last few events. And his average finish in super speedways outside of the win is like 30th at this point. He's not been that great in the next gen era at these types of tracks. He's not had a lot of good luck. And while, yes, he's up by 20 points currently at the moment, I'm concerned about the points gap that he's going to have, considering other drivers I expect to run well. I think Christopher Bell's going to struggle and not run really well. Sadly, I think it's not going to be a good run for Christopher Bell this weekend at Talladega Super Speedway. And now we're going ahead and jump on the underdog picks for the 2025 YellaWood 500. Who are my underdog picks? My first underdog pick for this weekend at Talladega is the driver of the 5 car for Hendrick Motorsports, Kyle Larson. Before the next gen era, Kyle Larson was not that good at super speedways. He didn't have great numbers. But since the next gen era, he's actually been one of the better drivers in the super speedway era, to the point where he's finished in the top 20 in all the next gen super speedway races this year. And he's had some top 5s as of late at this track. I expect Kyle Larson to be a factor for a potential top 5. I think there's a good chance he'll lead some laps. And maybe he'll surprise and pick up his first super speedway win. He's never won one of those in Cup at this point. So I think Larson will have a really solid run. I think Hendrick's going to bring some good pace and really strong speed. I think Kyle Larson has one of his stronger runs at a super speedway and put together a good run this weekend at Talladega. My second underdog pick for this weekend at Talladega is the driver to 38 car for Front Row Motorsports, Zane Smith. Zane Smith, without question, has been the best Front Row Motorsports driver so far this year, and I've seen some really good speed from the driver to 38 at super speedways, especially considering Front Row does have a good super speed package, but we know that there's going to be a lot of gridlock, and Zane Smith does have experience winning some truck super speedway events, so I think that's going to lead Zane Smith to actually having a really solid and really strong run. I think he'll be a factor for a potential outside shot at a victory, so looking for his first career Cup Series win. I think he for sure will be up front this weekend. I think the car will have some good pace and solid speed. I think Zane Smith will have a pretty solid run this weekend at Talladega. And my third and final underdog pick for this weekend at Talladega is a driver of the 88 car for Trackhouse Racing, Shane Van Gisbergen. Outside of the road courses, I think that this inner super speedways, when it comes to his pace and speed, he's actually really good at these types of tracks. Hasn't had the luck to show for. But Shane Van Gisbergen is getting better on ovals. He had a top 10 car at New Hampshire before getting crashed. He had a top 10 car at Kansas. And he had a top 10 car at Las Vegas before unfortunately getting caught up in an incident crash there. He's getting better at ovals, and he's getting better as a driver at these types of tracks. He's starting to figure it out, which is really concerning for the rest of the field, him already figuring it out at this point. I think Shane Van Gisbergen is going to have a solid run. I think Trackhouse is going to bring some really good speed out to the track. I think SVG will be a factor for a potential outside shot at win, looking for his first oval win. I think he's got a solid shot and opportunity to get a top 10 this weekend at Talladega. And now we're going to go ahead and jump onto the winner's pick for the 2025 YellaWood 500. Who am I picking to win? The driver who I'm picking to win this weekend at Talladega Super Speedway is one of the best drivers at this track. He's been phenomenal since around 2019-2020 and has picked up 2 fall wins at Talladega Super Speedway, including in 2023. I am picking the driver with the number 12 car for Team Penske, Ryan Blaney, to pick up his 4th win of 2025, lock his way in the championship 4, and pick up his 17th career NASCAR Cup Series win. Ryan Blaney, like I mentioned, is amazing at super speedway tracks. He runs up front every time to go to these places and always does a really good job, and he's always up front. Plus, the last traditional super speedway at Daytona, he picked up the win in victory. Because of that, I think Ryan Blaney's going to go out there and get it done. I think the 12 team's going to have some really strong pace and speed. Penske's phenomenal at these types of tracks. Because of that, I think Ryan Blaney's going to have a great chance and opportunity to get it done. I'm going with Ryan Blaney to pick up the win this weekend at Talladega. And now we're going ahead and jump onto the drivers you need to watch out for this weekend at Talladega. Who should you have your eyes out on? The first driver you need to watch out for this weekend at Talladega is a driver of the 9 car for Hendrick Motorsports, Chase Elliott. At the race in Atlanta earlier this year, Chase Elliott picked up the win in victory, and Chase Elliott has won at Talladega twice before, including the fall race in 2022. I think Chase is going to be a factor this weekend. This 19's been really good at super speedways when it comes to their pace and speed, and Chase Elliott's always going to be someone you can keep your eyes out on who could be a factor to go to victory lane. He clutched up a win at Kansas a couple weeks back. He could clutch up once again. It would not surprise or shock me if Chase gets the 3rd win of the year. I expect him to be a factor this weekend at Talladega. The second driver we need to watch out for this weekend at Talladega is a driver of the 23 car for 2311 Racing, Bubba Wallace. This 23 team's had a ton of speed in the second half of the season, and Bubba's pretty good at Talladega considering he won there back in 2021 in the fall. I expect Bubba to be up front once again. Yes, his numbers haven't been too great when it comes to the finishes, but when it comes to the pace and speed, that 23 car is always up front. So I expect Bubba to be a factor and contender. I think he's going to have a strong opportunity to go to victory lane, and I think that 2311 is going to bring a good car for Bubba. I think he will be a factor for a potential win this weekend at Talladega. The third driver we need to watch out for this weekend at Talladega is a driver of the 22 car for Team Penske, Joey Logano. While Joey Logano doesn't have the finishes to show for the super speedways, Logano's one of the fastest guys in the field. So much in fact, there was a stat that came out recently, or I believe Joey Logano's led over 900 laps on drafting tracks in his Cup Series career, which is the best among current active drivers at the moment. I expect Logano to be a factor this weekend. This could be a chance for him to sneak out and get his way in the championship 4. I look for Logano to show some really strong pace and really good speed. I think it's going to be a great run for Logano. I think he's got a solid shot and opportunity. I think he'll put together a pretty strong, good performance. And I think he'll actually get a solid finish this time around this weekend at Talladega. The fourth driver we need to watch out for this weekend at Talladega is a driver of the 2 car for Team Penske, Austin Cindric. Austin Cindric is one of the best drivers currently in the next-gen era at super speedway tracks, as he won the Daytona 500 2022 and won at Talladega earlier this year. I do expect Austin Cindric to have a really strong and really good car out at the track. I think Cindric will be a contender for a potential victory. We know that 2 car always shows up here. He's someone you can rely on to be a factor and strong contender. I think it's going to be a really good run for Austin Cindric. I think he's going to put together some really good pace. I think he's going to have a phenomenal run. I think Cindric will be a factor and will be a strong contender for a potential win this weekend at Talladega. The fifth driver we need to watch out for this weekend at Talladega is the driver of the 8 car for Richard Childress Racing, Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch is coming off having a really good run at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, scoring a top 10 run after struggling early in the event. And Kyle Busch has been starting to show more speed at super speedways, even stronger than he has been. He's had some bad luck at these types of tracks, but he has won at Talladega twice before, 2023 and 2008. I expect Busch to be up front. The RCR Super Speedway program has him pretty strong. Because of that, I think Kyle Busch will have a good chance and opportunity to go to victory lane, looking for that first win in almost 2 years at this point, over 2 years. I think Kyle Busch will have a great run this weekend at Talladega. And the sixth and final driver I think you should watch out for this weekend at Talladega is the driver to 6 car for RFK Racing, Brad Keselowski. Brad Keselowski is one of the best drivers in Talladega history, as he's won here not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 6 times in his Cup Series career. And Brad has been pretty solid in the next-gen era at this track. Because of that, I think Brad will be a factor for a potential win in victory. I think the 6 team is going to bring some good pace and speed. The RFK cars have been really good at this track. I think Brad will show some really good stuff out on the track. I think it's going to be a good run for him. I think Brad Keselowski will be a factor and contender for a potential win in his first win since Darlington last year. I think it's going to be a good run for him this weekend at Talladega. So, those are race 6 of 2025 YellaWood 500 at Talladega. Just a reminder, my suck picks are Daniel Suarez, Ty Gibbs, Christopher Bell. My underdog picks are Kyle Larson, Zane Smith, Shane Van Gisbergen. My winner's pick is Ryan Blaney. And the ones to watch out for, Chase Elliott, Bubba Walsh, Joey Logano, Austin Cindric, Kyle Busch, and Brad Keselowski. Those are my race picks. So that is going to be it for the Race 6 video for the 2025 YellaWood 500 at Talladega. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, notifications on, so if when a video does go live on my channel. Follow me to Facebook and Instagram, and support me on Patreon as well. Let's go below that and comment below your picks below for this weekend at Talladega. Who are your picks? Let me know your suck picks, your underdog picks, your winner's pick, and let me know the drivers you're watching out for this weekend at Talladega. Let me know your picks in the comments below. Later this afternoon, you're going to see the paint scheme video for the Cup, Xfinity, and Truck Series race at Talladega. Then, of course, tomorrow we'll have a NASCAR news video dropping on the channel as well. We're back doing paint schemes, by the way, on the channel. And we'll also have a NASCAR news video, like I mentioned. And we'll have the Truck Series review, Saturday and Sunday reactions to Xfinity and Cup from Talladega Super Speedway over the weekend. And then, of course, on Monday, we should have a NASCAR news video if the race doesn't get postponed. We've got a lot of content coming up. People like Haley Deegan, Shane Van Gisbergen, Carl Edwards, Kurt Busch, Kyle Busch, Bo Loss, Ross Chastain, Shelby Creed, Sam Merritt, Frankie Muniz, Cletus Safran, Dodge Ram, Brendan Bunner being Queen, other things like Will Brown, Brock Feeney, Cam Waters, Kyle Larson, Chase Lay, Ryan Priest, among other things as well, along with Junior Motorsports and Connor Zillage too. So anyways, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's episode. I'll see you guys next time for more great, awesome NASCAR content and other motorsports content on the channel like this. Take care, everybody.